Yes! It's happened. We all know it by now. General Motors has finally had their entry bid approved by Formula One management, and we're going to get that 11th team. And aside from the politics of it all and the apparent distaste for Michael Andretti in the paddock, outgoing Liberty Media CEO Greg Maffei's clear and vocal distaste, and teams seeming to do a U-turn on the prize money situation now that the aforementioned personal conflict has become a moot point, what further intrigue has this got to offer those of us who love to speculate all over the place? Well, the obvious answer is that there's now space for 2 more drivers on the grid come 2026. The slightly less glamorous one is who might be in the running for the team principal role. And of course, the one that might affect both, and something I'm personally very interested in, is just how American does Cadillac GM intend to be? Based on Maffei's comments to the media, the growth of Formula One in North America and GM's status as a massive US and global brand has been at least in part a deciding factor in the decision to finally welcome Cadillac into the fold. So if there's a big focus on an American team that is more American than F1's current American team, just how American does it need to be American? A team principal from the US? Both drivers from the US? Let's start with the team principal question. In recent years, we've had a number of departures from the role or its equivalent at various existing F1 outfits. And I think it's fair to say that it would be in Cadillac's best interest to put someone in the role that has experience navigating the paddock, politically at least. Andreas Seidel, Gunther Steiner, the absolutely charismaless patsy that is Bruno Famin, Cyril Abiteboul, Claire Williams, Eric Boullier, Manisha Kaltenborn, Jos Capito, Paddy Lowe, Martin Whitmarsh. It's a long list of people that have experience in operating in the F1 sphere in those high-level team leadership roles. But the obvious pick, to me at least, is Otmar Szafnauer. He's American, albeit born in Romania and of dual citizenship. He's got a couple of decades plus experience in Formula One. He's proven himself to be a good leader of midfield teams and a victim of clear undermining by the internal shenanigans within Renault/Alpine, something that was obvious even before he started actually talking about it. And I just like him. And like when he was on the High Performance podcast, it very much sounded like he was doing a job interview, okay? What's the bet? The moment it came out, he immediately sent the link to all of the people that matter. Yes, Otmar's a bit boring, and yes, he can be a bit cringe at times, but he seems like a guy who's good at managing people and instilling a good culture within a team. And when you're the new kids on the block, that's crucial. 3 videos in the space of 24 hours. I don't know who the hell I am. Someone who's trying really hard to get to 1,000 subs and a whole lot of watch hours by the end of the year. That's who. So if you enjoy watching Formula One chatter in a terrible accent, then please click that subscribe button if you haven't already, and make sure you're watching to the end. You're helping facilitate my future happiness and financial stability. My current Patreon side hustle will more than likely become untenable sometime after January 20th, so I'm in desperate need of a replacement. And for those of you who watch regularly, as always, aroha to you all. So what for drivers? What's the priority here? American, sponsorship, technical ability, speed? Well, obviously some kind of combination of all three, right? Yes, GM is a massive global brand, and yes, like other teams, they will be using their technical developments in Formula One as a springboard into new road car technologies, but an F1 team still needs to stand financially on its own 2 feet. And the obvious pick here is Colton Herta. With a 2nd place finish in IndyCar this year and a 10th last season, it means by the time next season rolls around, he's only 9 points shy of a super license. Finish 4th or higher and he'll finally reach the magic number ready for a seat on the Formula One grid for 2026. But is putting someone who effectively amounts to a rookie, even if he's been racing in a high-level series like IndyCar, really a smart idea for a brand new team? Herta also doesn't come with any big-name sponsors to make the balance sheets look good, although he's already an Andretti driver and GM has made it clear he's their top pick if he can get the super license points. Maybe Jack Crawford. He hasn't been setting F2 alight, but then you can absolutely say the same thing about all of next year's rookies, even Antonelli. Do I really think that they'd go for 2 rookies just because they're both American? Hell no. Should they consider putting both cars in safe hands, at least one who comes with a lot of dosh? Maybe this is an easy out of Red Bull for Sergio Perez, a guy who's massively popular in the US and excels in midfield machinery, which, let's be real here, the Cadillac entry is likely to be. Lots of sponsors, not from the US, but still North American, experience. Maybe it's an in for Bottas to return, or Magnussen. And speaking of Mexican drivers, and another who's adored north of the border, Pato O'Ward. O'Ward's already the holder of a super license, which means as long as he keeps up his testing requirements each year, he's set to take a seat on the grid should someone dangle the right carrot in front of his nose. And it doesn't look like McLaren's going to be doing that anytime soon. Like Herta, it's easy to think that ship has sailed on O'Ward's chances in an F1 seat, but even if he's not US American, his massive following on social media, his talent as a driver, plenty of hours in F1 machinery. I mean, heck, he even drove an F1 car at Laguna Seca, woof, and his sponsorship appeal is sure to pique GM's interest. So who am I picking? Checo and Herta? Bottas and O'Ward? A return to Magnussen and Grosjean? No, I think the smart pick here for Cadillac would be for one F1 rookie, one pair of safe hands who can help guide the team in the right technical direction and comes with a lot of personal appeal. So, Daniel Ricciardo then. He might not consistently be the brave on the brakes speed demon he used to be, and he might be getting on a bit, but then so is Bottas and so is Checo. They're all the same age, and if Bottas and Checo are in the conversation, then Ricciardo has to be as well. He's well known for his clear and concise communication style, his ability to help guide younger teammates, and the quality of his technical feedback. He's also incredibly popular in the United States. And you don't get the derogatory hater nickname the Money Badger by not being commercially appealing. I mean, he got Visa and Cash App on board after all, right? So who are my picks then? Well, it depends. I think if Herta gets the required super license points, then he's going to be the obvious choice for one of those seats. And if he doesn't have a solid season in Indy next year, it'll be O'Ward, not Sargent. And the experienced set of hands? It has to be Daniel. It just kind of makes sense when you look at it from all the angles. You know what we need right now though, right? That's right, a 12th. Take me back to the days of 24 cars on the grid. Now, in my personal opinion, the appointment of Ollie Oakes to the team principal role at Alpine and Alpine's dumping of their status as a power unit supplier are clear indicators that they're preparing to sell out to High-Tech. And with High-Tech's bid to the FIA for a place on the grid being rejected, it's a straightforward, obvious path into Formula One that will benefit from that crossover in team leadership. So if not High-Tech, then who? Unfortunately, I own absolutely nothing remotely patriotic, so let me just, I don't know, I'll put something Aotearoa related like around me in the edit, I suppose. Yep, that other team that was rejected by the FIA last year, Rodin. Now granted, Rodin is technically based in the UK nowadays, thanks to, at least in part to its merger with Carlin, and its founder, extremely low-key, no Wikipedia page tech billionaire David Dicker, is Australian, but like, it was founded here, and the test track is a day trip from my house. So, Kiwi Formula One team, anyone? And no, McLaren doesn't count.